Hello everybody, welcome to a new video. My name's Isha and today I'm going to be doing my September reading wrap up. In September I read 4 books, like the last 2 months I think. But yeah, I'm just going to go through all those and give you my ratings, my opinion, my review. For September I had a reading challenge on Goodreads where it was called the author reading challenge. So there was a list of authors to choose from and then we had to read books from that list of authors, and that list was like compiled from people in the group commenting their favourite authors. I said Taylor Jenkins Reid, but I actually didn't even read any Taylor Jenkins Reid books. I'll read out the list of authors I could read books from. So the authors on the list were Holly Jackson, Karen M. McManus, Stephanie Garber, Leigh Bardugo, I don't know if I said that right, Anna Huang, Taylor Jenkins Reid, Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Rick Riordan, Anne something, I don't know. Goodreads is such a glitch, so it's like cut off the last name. And then June something. Or maybe that's a full name, June Her, I don't know. But anyway, they're the authors, and I actually only read books from one of the authors because I was finishing a series, and that was the Inheritance Game series. But first of all, I started reading Detransition Baby at the end of August. So that was the first book I read this month because it just like kind of went over. So I didn't count towards a challenge, but I still read it. I actually started this book in August, but then I DNF'd it. Not because it was particularly like bad, even though I wasn't like loving it, but I just started reading something else. Started reading Detransition Baby, and I was kind of confused. It was so different to anything I've ever like read before. I was like, what is this? Like, what is he writing? What is going on? And the second time around, I kind of like understood them more, understood the characters more, and like the style, like kind of. So the second time around, when I read the first like few pages, I think it was like 28 pages, I just started it again. I was like, oh yeah, I was more into it. I did give this book 3 stars, but I was kind of debating between 3 stars or 4 stars, but I decided on 3. The reason was kind of strange to me, just like the things it was talking about, like I've never read anything talk about. It's based on the book is about, it follows 3 characters. I don't have the physical copy because I got it from the library. So it was, what are the names? Katrina, Amy / Ames, and this is like Reese. Reese is transgender woman. Amy was born a boy, transitioned to a woman, and then detransitioned back to a man. Katrina is just like a cis woman, and basically at the start of the book it's just like we follow Reese and like how she's living as a transgender woman. Amy and Katrina are introduced and they're together, but initially this is so hard to explain. I'm so bad at like explaining books. But initially, Katrina didn't know that Amy had like detransitioned, so she just thought he was like a cis man. Basically, how they're all connected is that Amy's also Reese's ex, and Reese always wanted a child, and then Katrina gets pregnant, so Amy is like, oh. So Amy's like, oh, Reese can help mother the child and they can be like a family of friends. Okay, yeah. That's basically like the plotline of the book. It was definitely interesting to read about like trans people and culture. It's just like something I don't know much about. I enjoyed just like reading the book. Like it was just like nice to read. But like it's not got a lot of plot and it's quite slow paced, which isn't like, that's the point really. Like it's not, so it has got quite a bit of plot, you know what I mean, like it's just not really fast paced. I like books which like are not too fast paced and they're just like kind of just like going along enjoying the vibes, but I wasn't like absolutely loving the vibes. Sometimes Reese and Katrina were like a little bit annoying. Like I was just like what, like some of the things I say I was just like what. Anyway, but like I appreciated how honest it was. Like I think that's why I was kind of a bit like took off guard and then like, well, I enjoy reading the book, but I'm not sure like stick with me forever. So on to the next book I read, which was for the author reading challenge, and that was the second book in the Inheritance Game series, The Hawthorne Legacy. I gave this book 3 stars too. I'm just looking at my Goodreads reviews to like remind me of the book. So I enjoy reading this book, but I feel like I probably forget about it, and like the romance between Jameson and Avery, it just doesn't hit for me. Like I just don't feel it, and also I just don't feel any like people like Team Grayson. I don't feel that either. Like I don't particularly like ship any of them because I just don't really care that much about them. This book is really fast paced, and it's just too fast paced for me. So there's like not a lot of character development. I think that's why like, I just can't connect to the characters. Like I don't ship them because I can't connect to them, and that is something I enjoy, like character studies and like just analysing people's personalities, but I can't do this when it like there's a lot of plot happening. So yeah, so these kind of books, like I don't think the series is like the thing for me, but I still like wanted to finish reading the series. I would recommend these books, but they're just not like for me, like I've said. They're just like a fun, fast-paced reading, and I would recommend it if you like get into reading and stuff. And that was for the author Jennifer Lynn Barnes, like obviously because I said all of the books. Anyway. The next book I read was the next book in the series, The Final Gambit, Jennifer Lynn Barnes again. In this book I felt like I was getting a little bit tired of the series, and I felt like the things that were happening were slightly unrealistic just because I just couldn't relate to the world. Like it is the real world, but like I couldn't relate to it. Because they're just so rich, I'm just like, please. Like what is going on? How is this real? But it's not real, obviously it's fiction. But some of the things I can't believe what's happening, also how like clever they are. Like I'm just like, how are you that clever? Like you can't just solve all these things that good. No way. I enjoyed the beginning of this book because I just remember like maybe it was like a chapter or a page, and it was just like at the start of the book I just enjoyed the vibes because nothing's happening like right at the start. Like it's just kind of chill, and it was just like was it like a hot air balloon or something, and it was just so lovely to read. I enjoyed that. I liked the idea of the ending, which I thought was going to be like the plot of the next book, but like now I've read the next book, it just wasn't. I'll tell you about that after, but anyway, I kind of like the ending, but I gave this book 3 stars. Again, like I don't hate this series, but it's just not like, it doesn't mean that much to me. Again, still don't really care about Jameson and Grayson. I think I said my favourite character in this book was Xander, and I kind of just like pulled that out of nowhere because I was like, who do I actually like? Because I don't really love anybody. Final book I read this month, which I finished yesterday because I was cramming it because I wanted to get my 3rd book in for the challenge. So like I don't even know if I've placed on the leaderboard, but I was like, okay, I need to finish this book for the end of the month, so I finished it yesterday. So this book I didn't The Brothers Hawthorne, I don't know if I said that. It like just came out, and like I found like the whole series in the library, and I was like, wow, so lucky. Anyway, so yeah, all these are from my library. I enjoyed this like a little bit more than the last 2 books. I like the new characters introduced because I was kind of getting bored of the same characters. So we have Gigi and Savannah who are introduced. I feel like I can't really say much about the plot and stuff because it's a series and I'll spoil the other books, but I did kind of like Gigi. She was fun. So we follow like Jameson and Grayson, so each chapter is like either Jameson or Grayson. So I kind of did like that because it was kind of like 2 different storylines going on at the same time, so someone gets sick of one of them. And yeah, it was just a bit more interesting than the last 2, I think. I still don't feel the romance that much. Like, they're telling me that like they love each other, but I don't feel it. What I was saying in the last book, the ending of this book is the ending of the last book. So I'm like, when did this happen? Like I'm just confused about the timeline. I thought that this book was going to be all about Avery's game, but the next book's going to be all about Avery's game. But when did this happen? Like I'm confused. Anyway, you probably don't understand what I'm on about if you've not read the book, but anyway. So I enjoyed this book a little bit more. I like the 2 timelines. No, not 2 times. I like the 2 perspectives. And I felt the things they were doing were slightly interesting, so I was slightly interested. But yeah, 3 stars again. This was more leaning towards a 4-star. Like I was kind of debating between 3-star and 4-star, but I was like, okay, I'll just give it 3 stars. Because I give the rest 3 stars. That's all the books I read in September. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Hopefully I will see you next time.